Nick, I want to quickly talk to you about the Disney Plus ratings system.
Oh, love a bit of ratings. Tell me all about the censorship.
Well, see, it's very strange because obviously Disney is so child orientated that any sort of anything above like a PG, they plaster the age rating everywhere,
Right.
which is weird because Marvel is all 12,
Yeah.
and then the Mandalorian's a 15, isn't it?
Is it?
Or it
No.
might be a 12 actually.
Mandalorian's a PG, isn't it?
I mean, there's a lot of just shooting and
Yeah, but no. But is
I
there any
suppose.
blood?
No.
See, that's the thing. Because I mean, the original Star Wars trilogies are you,
Yeah.
and
Even if someone gets fucking fried in like the first 10 minutes.
yeah, but I think it's a. I mean, I don't know actually off the top of my head, but I suspect it's a PG because there's no language, there's no nudity.
It is a PG.
Yeah,
correct.
there's no all the violence is bloodless, and therefore and also it's fantasy violence, so they get away with it. It's really weird how ratings work.
Well, yeah, so on to this, right?
Yeah.
We watched Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest and then Pirates of the Caribbean At World's End.
Which sounds like a nightmare for me, but that's what you want to spend your evening on.
We didn't watch them in the same evening, but we watched them back-to-back evenings. And they're good. I remember At World's End being bad when it came out when I was 9, and I remember it being panned, but it's not that bad. It's not of the trilogy, the original trilogy. It's definitely the worst one, but not by a massive amount. I think it holds up. Like, it's still decent, and it's a good, satisfying conclusion. And there's a cool boat fight at the end.
Yeah, well, it's a boat fight that, as I recall, lasts 2 hours.
No, it is long. I'll give you that.
Well, no,
it's very long.
I remember my problem with it. Again, I've also not seen it since I was like maybe 12. But my recollection was not only was the boat scene, not only was it a long film, but like it's basically almost one scene for it felt like for the entire thing. Like it was just this one fight that just went on and on and on and on and on.
No, that's just not right.
Okay.
There's a lot of cool. I think it suffered the Disney-itis much more than the other two did.
What, in terms of like dumbing it down or?
Well, no. So, I mean, as in attempting to make it appeal to the widest audience possible.
Okay. The homogenization.
And I'll get to that in a second.
Right.
But you know how, so the first one was a complete fucking gamble. And they made this film off a fucking ride at Disneyland, and it fucking worked, and it was really good, and everyone loved it, and they thought Johnny Depp was the tits, and it exploded. And then the second one is also really good. It holds up. What I will say about both of all three of them, but particularly the Dead Man's Chest and At World's End, are the special effects are amazing. Like the character design, especially on Davy Jones and his crew, is really, really good, and the CGI holds up really well.
Yeah, which is quite impressive for that time as well.
Yeah, but the practical effects on the boats, on the ships, are amazing. Like having the fucking ships explode with the practical effects they use is incredible. Like is a real spectacle. Like it looks amazing.
There is that shot of the British commander like descending down the stairs as his ship's exploding by. That is a really good shot, to be fair.
Yeah, there is a lot of really good stuff in there. Also, there was a joke that obviously flew completely over my head as a fucking 9-year-old. There's a fucking wanking joke in the third one that that flew over my head as a 9-year-old, and then when I came back to it as a 22-year-old, I was like, "Excuse me, what?"
Can you recall it?
It was something about going blind because he's, done it 5 times already today. And he's like, "Oh, I can still see properly," and it's like, "Oh, fucking Jesus Christ."
That's weird for a Disney film.
There's a lot of really subtle jokes that are just confusing and feel really out of place in the last one.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk about. We just fucking went off on one.
Well, that's a review of World's End for anyone who hasn't seen it.
So, when you click on a film, like in Netflix, it gives you the rating at the top of the screen.
Yeah.
So for Dead Man's Chest, it's like a PG or 12 or whatever it is, and then
12.
You know how on Netflix, right, it always says... So if you click on... We've been watching F is for Family a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And I can talk about that as well, actually. But
Okay.
when you click on F is for Family, it says 18, and then it says sex language, drug use, sexual references, that kind of stuff. It's got all of that. Like,
it's the BBFC guidance, but just like shortened down.
Yeah. So on Disney, they do a similar thing. However, in Pirates of the Caribbean, they seemingly miss out so much. Because for both Dead Man's Chest and World's End, all they have is rated 12 plus, and then for the reasons why, it just says tobacco use.
What?
And then within the first fucking within the first fucking genuinely the first 30 seconds of At World's End, a man gets his eye plucked out by a crow, and that man is still alive, and you can hear his screams of pain ringing as the camera flies through this city, and it's like, what?
What?
Yeah, it's mad. Wait, that might be the beginning of the other one.
Oh.
What's it called? Dead Man's Chest.
Tobacco use.
Yeah, so now, every time someone died in it, we were like, oh, that's some risky tobacco use. Also, these are fucking pirates who are drinking and murdering all the time.
That almost feels like it must be a glitch.
I mean, you'd think so.
But I thought it was just going to say violence, because that's the reason it's 12. If that's what I don't get sometimes is certainly on DVD covers this is a problem. They'd list the one element that was a problem and nothing else. It's you get a film that's rated 18 and just be violence. I'm could you expand upon that in any way? bit more detail maybe. But so it's I've seen before when they just state, but in that case for pirates it would be 12 violence, and if you're lucky, fantasy violence.
Yeah.
But that feels to completely miss the main point of the content.
Which is weird, that's what they've picked up on.
Yeah.
Tobacco use is so influential on children now, but, fucking running them through with your sword and shooting them in the face is fine.
Well, see, what that implies is that the violence and anything else is at a PG level, but the tobacco use is what pushed it to 12. That's the specific 12 rating part of it.
Yeah.
Which can't be right.
I mean, I guess.
That's how that normally works, but that's such a strange... What? Why is that a 12?
But there's some really, really, I don't want to say pushing the age rating, because obviously it's fine. I watched it when I was 9 and I wasn't freaked out by it or anything.
Yeah, but
there is some very, on the edge depictions of gore and of violence. I
mean, I think Pirates of the Caribbean as a franchise is literally right on the very edge of what you can get away with violence-wise while still being a family film.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
and it is good. The swashbuckling is fun, but you do have people getting shot, run through. There's a bit where someone gets their throat slit open, and I mean, it does do the Reservoir Dogs thing of moving the camera away, but then it's someone gets their fucking head caved in with a fucking axe and then thrown overboard.
I don't remember this at all.
Also, right, in the fucking World's End, I just want to point this out, right, very quickly.
Okay.
So the bit where they swing the ship over? They have to rock the ship so it flips over, because they're to get back to the mortal world, you have to, up is down is the thing. Up is down at sunrise, and then you can get back to the mortal world.
Is this going to be an actually point?
No. So they are in purgatory.
Okay.
And they're we've got to get out of here because we're all alive souls and we've got to leave purgatory so we can go back to the mortal world, right? But when they're fucking rocking that ship, one of their crew falls off. And they don't stop to get him back on the ship. He falls off and they just fucking leave him behind. So that poor fucking bloke is trapped in purgatory, in the middle of the fucking ocean in purgatory, forever.
Yeah, but he was an unnamed character, so it's fine. No one cares.
It's just fucking hell. They just fucking leave him. They're oh, whatever. Also, in that same scene, someone gets crushed with a fucking cannon. As if that wouldn't cause an explosion of body parts and leave like a huge mess everywhere. And they all just shrug it off and they're like, oh, whatever.
Can anyone die in purgatory? Because if they're in purgatory, they're already sort of dead.
Well, yeah, I guess. But
Also,
I don't
how
know.
do they get to purgatory again? That seems a bit metaphysical.
They sail off the edge of the world at World's End.
I don't remember this much bullshit in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. Also, there's this bit, right at the beginning where Calypso, the voodoo woman.
Vaguely.
Yeah, she's like, oh, there is a new evil on the seas. It's an evil unlike no other. And it's supposed to be Davy Jones, right? But you can just fucking tell that they're talking about the British Empire. Because it then cuts to the British Admiral guy. It's like, fucking hell, could you be any less fucking on the nose? It's I do like that though, how like they have Davy Jones as this mystical evil, but actually the the real evil in this story is the British.
We were the real monsters, you know. That's the moral.
Well, it's not wrong. Anyway, that's Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's not screaming about a 10-year-old film, older than that even.
2007 is when okay. I say the last one.
Oh,
but, then there was 2 sequels that were dog shit. So
I mean, I remember we saw the 4th one in cinemas. I've never seen the 5th one, but I've heard terrible things. And they're making a 6th one apparently.
Oh yeah, but it's a 6th one it's a soft reboot, I think, because it's with is it Margot Robbie?
Margot Robbie's in it / producing, yeah.
I think she's the main character. Like, it's not got Johnny Depp in it.
Okay.
So I think it's a completely rebooted.
Why not I mean, I'm not saying I was gonna say I might just make a different pirate film, but I don't know.
Well, to be fair, probably will be a completely different pirate-based film, but
just with a name for marquee value.
I don't think it will be a reboot in the way it's a rewrite of the same fucking thing, just with a woman playing Johnny Depp. I think it will be a completely new story with just the same title slapped on it.
I guess my point is, who still cares about Pirates of the Caribbean? It's a very early 2000s franchise.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's what I said, right? So once World's End finished, we were like, okay, next time we'll watch On Stranger Tides, which is number 4. And I was like, I reckon there's... So when did the first one come out? 2003? Something like that?
Yeah, that sounds right.
And then the second one came out in 2006.
Yeah, I think...
So Dead Man's Chest came out in 2006 and World's End came out in 2007.
I think those two are filmed back to back, like Lord of the Rings was. I mean,
So they made those two, very close together. And then World's End didn't perform very well because, no one really liked it. Even though it's not that bad, I don't think.
Yes, we're very clear that you like it.
I don't love it, I wouldn't... It's not like... The first one is definitely the best one, but it's not as awful as everyone says it is, so I think it's fine.
Sure.
Anyway, I reckon... So then the next one came out in 2011?
Yeah, that sounds right.
So, I think it was... They waited... Because obviously it flopped, and it was they waited long enough for it to be nostalgia before they made another one.
Right.
Because, they were like, oh, it's a new Pirates of the Caribbean, and it's got Johnny Depp in it, and Jeffrey Rush, and, oh no, Orlando Bloom's not there, but we've got...
we've got someone who can act.
Yeah, we've got... It's funny because it's true. And then and then that one underperformed, so then they did exactly the same thing with Salazar's Revenge.
But then that came out that came out the other year.
And then that came out 7 years later. I think it's 2018.
But there's the initial run where something's around and popular. Then you get the nostalgia period, and then that tapers off. And there's decades for the next nostalgia period, 30 years or so. In the same way we're nostalgic for the 80s now. So it's not that if we waited long enough, it'll be nostalgic again. You've not waited long enough. The Pirates of the Caribbean it's just no one cares in 2018 when it was when that came out. All I remember was people being like, another one? Why? What is this still going on? No one cared. No one was like, oh cool, Pirates is back. They're like, oh, what, Pirates is back?
Yeah.